Hello, welcome to today's video. I have not done a book related video in a while, like a true just dedicated reading wrap up, haul, what I want to read, all the things, but I'm finally here with a book haul video. Truth be told, I've been in a reading slump, but next week I'm actually filming my first ever reading book challenge video, and I'm very excited about it. So I've accumulated a few new books in the last few months and I want to show them all to you. So I'm going to go through the books and give a quick synopsis, I guess, just what it's about, so you have some sort of idea. Let's get into it. First up is 14 Ways to Die. So this follows Jess, and when Jess was 7, her mom was murdered by a serial killer. So 10 years have passed, the killer has still not been caught. And so she's actually determined to find this guy. So she agrees to being a part of this internet reality show where she's gonna have herself fully authentically filmed for one day a week or something, and it's aired and it's starting to catch the attention of so many people, including the killer. So she starts receiving messages and seems a little intense. Next up is It Ends With Us. I saw this at Goodwill in really good condition, and it's been on my TBR. The only Colleen Hoover book I've read is Verity, which I know is definitely not up her normal writing, so I'm excited to read this. Gives me second chance romance vibes. I think the main character is she's in a relationship, and then her first love comes back in the picture or something, and she's like, what do I do here? And I hear Colleen breaks your heart into a million pieces, so that'll be fun. Next up is The Masked City. I actually hadn't seen this anywhere, but it was in Goodwill and I read the back. Honestly, I only read the first bit here and it sold me, so that's what I'm gonna do here. Working in an alternate version of Victorian London, librarian spy Irene has settled into a routine, collecting important fiction for the mysterious library and blending in nicely with the local culture. But when her apprentice, Kai, a dragon of royal descent, is kidnapped by the Fae, her carefully crafted undercover operation begins to crumble. Sold. Next up is Lucy Foley's The Guest List. I really want to read The Paris Apartment, but this I think was at a library book sale or something for a few dollars. And I was like, okay, well this will get me into Lucy Foley and her writing style, seeing how I like that. But The Guest List follows a wedding of these two popular people, if you will. They're the it people. And everyone has secrets. Someone dies. Who did it? Someone was murdered, to be clear, not just they died, they were murdered. So, I think it'll be good. Beach read. This has definitely been everywhere. It is a total rom-com vibe. It follows these two acclaimed authors where they are sort of both in this slump of writing. So they decided to switch genres, and she's gonna write his genre, vice versa, and so they take each other on these various dates to get the other person in the mindset of that genre and give them inspiration, all the things. And I love the last line. It says, everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really? Bull. But okay, I'm here for it. One Italian Summer. I saw this at Barnes & Noble a while ago, and I remember when I first picked it up and I read it and I was like, I'm getting this for my mom and I to read together. So it follows a daughter, and the daughter and mother had this trip planned to Italy because her mother really wanted to share that with her. Unfortunately, she passed before they could do that, so the daughter keeps the trip that they planned, and when she goes, she runs into her mother when her mother was 30. So there's that kind of weird, trippy, mind time travel element of this that's what? But it's definitely dealing with coping with that. She's basically spending this Italian summer with her younger mom. That sounds so cool to me, so I'm very excited to read that. Next up is You Say It First. I actually haven't seen people talk about this either, but it seems like a cute rom-com-y vibe. So it follows Meg, who has a boyfriend. her and her best friend are planning to go to Cornell together. So I think she like probably just wrapped up her senior year of high school, getting ready to go to college, and she does this, like, she's a part of a voter registration call center, and in that process she calls this guy that's in Ohio, and he's just not vibing with life, and he ends up evidently saying something very rude. He hangs up. But that starts like this series of various conversations they have and becoming friends, and then maybe something more. She has a boyfriend, so I hope the boyfriend's a jerk, because otherwise it's a little tricky, but I think it'll be cute. Next up, following that, of like, I haven't really seen people talk about this, is In Paris with You. This is kind of weird. It totally gives me Colleen Hoover vibes, where it's like they were in Paris one summer with a group of people, and whatever happened, something happened, and it says like they could have been together, but they were with other people. Like, not like, oh, they're in a relationship with other people, but they're there with this group. Something happened, they leave Paris, they drift apart, and all of a sudden they're in Paris together again. And it's like, will history repeat itself, or are they gonna work out whatever happened? And I don't know if it's alternating timelines, but it's definitely like something happened before, and you're sitting here like, what happened? And I know a lot of Colleen books do that. Next up is lore. I am a sucker for Greek mythology. I love all things Greek mythology, so I know there's a bunch of books like this, and so this is just the one I decided to buy. This one, kind of tricky for me to like explain it. So evidently the Greek gods rebelled a hot minute ago, and now they're being punished for that. So every 7 years, there's this event that goes on where 9 Greek gods are forced to walk the earth as mortals, and they're hunted by people. Like, they're hunted by descendants of ancient bloodlines, all eager to kill a god and seize their divine power and immortality. Now, Lore, she got out of this a while ago. Her family was murdered by like one of those divine gods, and she was like, to hell with that, I'm out. And so now that this new 7 years have passed, another one's coming, and these 2 other gods reach out to her to try to get justice for that and kill the god that killed her family. So she's like trying to figure out what to do and how to do that and what that really entails for her. So I think that would be cool. It's a thick book. Like, this thing is pretty big, but it's Greek mythology, so I'm excited. Next up is Queen of Hearts. I actually just finished this. It was really good. It was a Alice in Wonderland retelling following the Queen of Hearts, but it's not like, oh, we're just following the Queen of Hearts. Like, no, like, there's not a lot of truth to like what the Alice in Wonderland we really know. Like, the Mad Hatter is her brother. Makes sense though if you think about it. Like, but this was really good, and it's a trilogy. I do want to read the next books. I think they'll be good too. Next up is The Silent Patient. Now, I love all things like true crime, horror, like all the shows, all the movies, all the things. I love that. Now, do I get scared very, very easily? Yes. So I'm excited for this. The Silent Patient, it sounds chaotic. So this woman who is like bebopping around town, you know, like living her best life. She seems totally fine, normal, all the things, until one night or one day, whatever, her husband comes home and she just like brutally kills the guy, and then she just goes silent. And a criminal psychotherapist is very intrigued about this woman, and he's determined to figure out what happened. Now, along the way, he finds out just super crazy things. I think it'll be very interesting. Maybe save this for more like spooky season time. Next up, Love in Other Words. I've definitely seen this all over like social media, but I am mainly on YouTube. Like, I don't have TikTok, or I'm not on Instagram, so I see this really on YouTube a lot. But it's the same vibe as what's that Colleen book? Like, It Ends With Us, or it gives me like second chance romance vibes. This woman also like out here planning her wedding, and then her first love from way back comes in, and you don't know what happened to make them not talk, and you're just like, what is she gonna do? What is so there's that. I'm excited to read this. I've heard so many great things. Next up, let's tackle kind of some series type things. So I read the first book in the Shadow and Bone series, so I picked up the second. I don't want to talk about this book because it's the second book, but in general it follows like this universe where like there's the army, and within the army there's like the Grisha that's like, we have superpowers, we're better than you. And then there's like the part of the military that's like normal dudes and women, and they like are not super special. And one of these soldiers, though, that wasn't supposed to have a power, ends up having a hell of power. And they're wanting to use her, and it's just like this whole chaotic thing. So I remember enjoying the first book. I do not like the Netflix adaptation. Absolutely not, but I do think I will like the rest of the series. So with that, I know that Six of Crows kind of goes with that same universe, but this follows a criminal prodigy. Love that. And he's given like the heist of a lifetime to make him some real moolah, but he's like, I cannot do this on my own. So he gets together a team, and this team really has a shot if they don't like kill each other first, because it's a group of a bunch of misfits who have trust issues. But I think it's good. Like, I've heard good things. And then I got the second book in the Selection series. I remember loving the Selection. Like, once I started it, I would not put it down. It was so good. So this is the second book. I think it's a kind of a big series, but this follows, so I won't go into the second book, but in general, the prince of this country, needs a princess. And in order to do that, 35 women are chosen across the various classes. Like, they've submitted like their resumes essentially, and then they all come to the palace. Main character, America, she was like, damn it, I was picked, I do not want to do this. But each week that she's there, her family and her like get compensated for that. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna stick it out. Like, she's not in a very high class, get my family the money, it'll be fine. But then she's like, oh wait, maybe the prince actually isn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's not like so stuck up like I thought he was. I'm excited to read this. My current read is Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I honestly just started it, so I'm only about like a little under 100 pages in. And I mean, it's good so far. I've loved it so far. I really love the first book. I've heard it just gets like crazier and crazier as the series goes on. So this is my current read. Oh, if you don't know what it is, so the first book was all about Pip doing this capstone project for her senior year, or junior year? I don't know. She was doing a capstone project, and she was essentially trying to solve a old case of two students that happened like 5 years prior, and she was like, okay, it's supposed to be this murder-suicide thing, and she's like, no. And so she solves the case. It was so good, and now she created like this mini podcast about it, like following now like the trials and everything. And one of her friends goes missing, and she's like, I'm back in the game. The last book I want to talk about is one I got today, and it is Red, White, and Royal Blue. I've been dying to read this book. I've been dying to read it. And it follows basically the President of the United States' son and the like British guy, Bee Boo Bob. Come on, where's the, I don't know. The main guy that's in Britain, you know, like, then it's like his son or whatever, and they have like the British-US relations. They hate each other, but like kind of not really. It's just like, we don't like you, like, and then they're like, wait. So, yeah, that probably wasn't a great description, but if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Hello, welcome to today's video. I have not done a book-related video in a while, like a true just dedicated reading wrap-up, haul, what I want to read, all the things, but I'm finally here with a book haul video. Truth be told, I've been in a reading slump, but next week I'm actually filming my first ever like reading book challenge video, and I'm very, very, very excited about it. So I've accumulated a few new books in the last few months, and I want to show them all. to you. So I'm gonna go through the books and give like a quick synopsis, I guess, like just what it's about, so you have some sort of idea. Let's get into it. Okay, that was my book haul. I am very excited to get into reading all of these. Is it a problem that I was in a reading slump and kept buying books? Yes, but we're getting over that this week, so stay tuned for that video. I don't know, I love watching book hauls, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next one.